Hi everybody, welcome to Fortunate Creations. I'm Kim, and this is a channel where we talk about everything to do with crafting. So from amigurumi to weaving and anything in between. If you like crafting and being creative, stick around. I think you're going to like it here. So I recently started a series of projects for myself. I had bought this book at a craft store. Actually, it was a thrift store. Sorry about that. And I've decided that I'm going to go through, and they have a section in here called projects. So what I want to do is go through this book, and I want to create the projects that they have in there. So I did start with this one. You can see it's cute. But I figured instead of just copying what someone else is doing, I want to take their pattern, try it their way, and then I want to put a creative spin on it and try it my way. So this is adorable and I love it. But what I want to do is put my spin on it, and I want to make white and green, and I want to give it a St. Patrick's Day spin. Stay tuned. Let's see what I come up with. Okay, so here we go. Remember, this is the coffee koozie that we're going to be making. We're going to put a creative spin on it because I've already made that version of it and I love it. But what else can I do? How can I be a little bit more creative on that? Let's check it out. So St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I've decided I'm going to be using green and white. Okay, so we're going to follow the instructions that they laid out for this. But already there's a change because the materials you do not need a pin and you do not need a button. So all you need is the yarn needle, the yarn, and your crochet hook. Okay, so that's a change so far. Now we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we have a chain of 8. And then it says to do a single crochet and a double crochet into the second one from the hook. So there's the second one from the hook. Remember, you don't count the one that's on your hook, and then there's the first one. So there's the second one there that we went into. And we yarn over, pull up, and we do the double. So that is the first. Now you're going to skip the next one. You're going to go into the one after that. You're going to do a single, and then you're going to do a double. That's the pattern for this whole row, okay? Skip the next one, do a single and a double into this one. Okay. And now we're at the very last one. So we're going to skip that one and go right into the very last one. And we're going to do a single. And then we're going to do a double. As I get more material on the project, it's easier for me to handle, but struggling with the first couple rows is normal for me. Okay, so there's the first row. I pretty much followed it exactly how they said to do it with no changes. Starting with row 2 is where I throw in a little change, but it's not until the very end. So now remember, each row you're going to be working in the stitches that you skipped the row before, okay? So for this one, we're going to skip here and we're going to do a single, and then we're going to do a double. We're going to skip the next one, and in the space that we skipped below, we're going to do a single, and we're going to do a double. Again, we're going to skip that one. We're going to go in here. We're going to do a single. We're going to do a double. Now, the last stitch in the row is hiding from you. It's right here. It looks like it's this one, but it's actually this one. So the instructions say to just do a single and a double like we've been doing. However, I like to make it now that I've learned this hack, how to do the straight edge on the edges. So I'm going to do a double crochet, but I'm going to sneak right in to this little tab on the end and pull it up and do my double crochet. So you can see that I'm actually training it now to do a straight edge. We're going to chain one and turn our work. So that was my first change in the pattern. And that's really the only one I do until the end. So again, we're going to be working in every other stitch. So if you want to check yourself, you want to be working in every stitch that you skipped below. Okay. So we're going to start here, single crochet. Whoops, that's a double. Single crochet, there we go, double crochet. And then we're gonna skip the next one, single crochet, double crochet, slippery yarn. Again, single crochet, double crochet. And I'll show you one more time. We're at the end, and you can see it a little bit more prominent here. So I'm going to do the single crochet here in the end, okay? And then double, see this loop right here? I'm going to go under it into the last stitch, pull it up, chain one, turn my work, and you can see how it's making a nice border, okay? You're going to continue to do this until your project equals 8 inches. All right, so go ahead and keep repeating back and forth, using my hack or not, it's totally up to you, all the way till you get to be 8 inches. All right, here we are, 8 inches long, and it's looking pretty good. So next step is you want to make the part that's actually going to be right here. We're going to make the part that is the hook or the belt. Let's call it the belt. We're going to make the belt, okay? Going to finish this off. Okay. Chain one, turn the work. Now the instructions say, let me read here. Okay, skip the first stitch right here. Slip stitch in, so actually they're calling this the first stitch. Slip stitch into the next one. And then in the next 4 stitches, we're going to do half doubles. Okay, so we skip the first one, we slip stitch into the next one, and then we're doing 4 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then you're going to skip the first slip stitch, half double in each of the 4 stitches. Then you're going to slip stitch into the very end, chain one, and turn. Okay, you see it's a little offset, but that's okay because you want the belt part to be off to the bottom a little bit. So now we're going to work just in these 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do half doubles. You're going to skip that first one. We're going to do half doubles in all of these 4. In a row. Then you're going to slip stitch into the end, chain one, turn your work. And you can see already it's starting to get a little bit of a lip on there. We're going to do it again. Remember, you've got 4 stitches. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's these 4. Sorry about that. So we're going to half double, half double, half double, half double. Now let me stop here at this point. The instructions say to keep going with this until it's 2 inches. If you have a smaller coffee cup, or if you're going to put this on I don't know, any other kind of glass or cup. Measure the cup you're going to use first because 2 inches might just be too much. Okay, so again, I'm going to slip stitch into the end here, chain 1 and turn, work back into those 4. Okay, half double, half double, half double, and half double. Okay, slip, whoop, got out of the way, sorry about that. Slip stitch into the end, chain 1, turn your work. Okay, keep doing that back and forth, 4 half doubles, slip stitch, turn your work, 4 half doubles, until this little tongue here equals 2 inches. Okay, we are at 2 inches. Now, here we have the base of it. It almost looks like a bottle, doesn't it? So we have the base of it right here. Now, instead of, at this point, you can sew on the button. So you would need to wrap it around your cup. Let's take this off of here. You'd need to wrap it around your cup. Make sure you measure it to make it a little taut. That's perfect. Okay, and then you can put a button on there. But what I want to do is I want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So we're going to make a shamrock button out of the green. Okay, so everything in the world starts with a slip knot. At least in my world it does. That's how I was taught. That's how I keep going. All right, so I do not use the magic circle. I do 4 stitches, and a chain of 4, I mean, and then I slip stitch into the very first one and I make the circle that way. For me, it works the exact same way as I see the magic circle work. I don't know because I've never actually used a magic circle, so I've tried to make them and they don't work for me. So here we go. We have a circle, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 1 to seal it, and then you're going to chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you're going to go right back into the circle and slip stitch that on, just like that. Okay, then you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, slip stitch it back into the circle. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch it back into the circle. You can stop here if you want a 3-leaf clover, or you can do one more, which is what I'm going to do if you want a 4-leaf clover. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to, you guessed it, slip stitch back into the center. Okay, so you can see the start of your 4-leaf clover here. And we're going to lock that in place by linking it right here. We're going to slip stitch into that very first chain. All right, now at this point you can pull it tighter. When I pull this, it doesn't really work for me, so I always leave a little bit of a string so that when I'm closing in my tails, I can pull that tight with that. So that's how I work. I'll show you that at the end. So all I'm doing now is single crochet. So all I'm going to do now is single crochet into each one of the chains, just to make the leaves a little fatter. Okay, there's 5. And I actually just slip stitch into the circle itself to bring the leaf a little more announced, okay? And then you're going to go back into the chain of 5, and you're going to do 5 single crochet back into this, okay? For your little shamrock. I will not try an Irish accent. I'm not sure how bad I am at them. So I will not even try. So here we go. Each one, you can see it forming like a little flower. It's really pretty. That's 5. We're going to go back into the circle, slip stitch. Okay, remember you're using this as a button, so you want it to be as solid as possible. Again, back into the chain of 5. So here's 1, 2, and you're going to do this for all 4 or 3 if that's what you're doing. That's totally up to you. Pull my yarn a little bit into the last of this chain. And again, we're going to slip stitch right back into the circle. And then for the last one, again, pull it up a little bit, single crochet into each one of these. Okay, there's the last one. Now, what's a shamrock without a little stem, right? So you're going to go right into, right here, that first slip stitch, okay? And you're going to chain 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do it as long as you want, as short as you want. It's your shamrock. It's your shamrock stem. But I figure 5 is pretty good. And then you're going to make it double thick by going back. Okay. Four, right back here. And then you just want to secure it pretty much anywhere in here, okay? Anywhere where you can get it in there. Slip stitch it so you're securing it, and we're going to tie it off, okay? Leave a little extra because you want to be able to sew it on. And there's your little shamrock, okay? And because you've slip stitched it on here, you can finagle it into whatever shape you want. Let me get my scissors. What did I do with those? And we're going to snip this off. Again, leaving a bit. I mean, obviously I was a little bit aggressive on that, but that's fine. Tie a little knot here, and here's our shamrock. So let me get my needle, and I will show you what I mean about closing up that circle. So since it's short and I don't want to twist and turn the shamrock too much, I'm going to go ahead and slide my needle in all around the original loop, okay? Put that right in there. Then I thread the needle. And then I pull it through. And you can see here it's already starting to close. So that's what I mean about using the original tail to close up the center when I do that, okay? I don't like the magic circle. I need to retry it. I need to teach myself to use it. But for right now, for these purposes, we're going to go with how I was taught. And there we go. So now we have closed up the shamrock. And we're ready to put it on the sleeve. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and hide this tail real quick. However you're used to hiding your tails is perfectly fine with doing it. I am always in the habit of sliding it through the yarn or the project first and then loading the yarn. I don't know why, it just seems to be easier for me. So there we go. Tie that tail. Hide your tails, people. Hide your tails. Snip that off. Sharp scissors would be better, don't you think? Okay. Now, we're going to take this shamrock. And it depends on how you want it to face. Do you want it to face that way? Do you want it to face down when it's on there? It's totally up to you. The last one I did, you can see, I faced it down. Okay. So I think this one, I'm going to face it this way. Okay. So we're going to face it that way. Obviously, there's the good side and the bad side. So I just take my needle and I go through in this side, pull it nice and tight. Oh wait, let's do one thing first. Let's take the tail that I have here and let's feed it through so it's going back into the back side of that shamrock. You know what I mean? That way we're not pulling it around. So we're going to, my yarn's starting to separate. So we're going to slide that through there. Easier said than done. Come on, work with me, people. There we go. Slide that through. Notice how I had to stop talking to concentrate. It's like when I'm in the car and I turn the music down so I can see where I'm going. Makes no sense. Okay, so there we go. Now both tails are out back. Now I'm just going to leave it attached and I'm going to sew right through the back. And then I'm going to take this tail and thread it right through the back. Okay. Right through there. Flip it over and you're going to sew it on a couple of times. Okay. Now, if you like, you could take this time to use the extra thread to fill in the petals of the shamrock or to sew them closed. I like it the way it is, so I'm going to leave it. But if you wanted to, like this would be a point where you could take this and just kind of cinch your shamrock shut like that. Okay. You could do it up like this. I'll show the options so you know what the heck I'm talking about. Just remember you need a little bit of the petal sticking up so that you can use it as a button. Okay. I'm going to go here, through there, pinch it closed a little bit. The luck of the Irish is with me, it's working. Okay, and then pull it through there. So you can either leave them open and sew just the middle, or you can do like I did and sew the shamrock shut. Remember, leave it a little bit so you can still use it as a button. And then you can flip it over. You can tie it if you like, or at this point, there's so many loops through, it's not going anywhere, but I tie it. And then the trick here, so that you don't have strings hanging, is I take the tail back through and I hide it in the shamrock. Okay, so you're going to slide it in and actually go in through the shamrock and hide the tail. That way you don't have green hidden into the white, and it'll hide quite nicely. So you can take it back through any of it, just like you would hide your tails normally. Tuck that right in there. Okay, snip it off, and that's one tail hidden. And then you got the longer tail. You got the longer tail in here that you can do the same thing. Just go ahead and hide it right back into the shamrock itself. Take that in there. Very separate-y yarn. Is that a word? I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Get it back through there, and we're going to hide it in the shamrock. Any way you normally hide them. This one makes it easy because I can just go in here, then back through here, and back through here, any way you like to hide it, back into the shamrock itself. And we're just going to tuck it in there. Come on, we're down below. There we go. Pull it through. And you could end in here so that when you snip it off, it doesn't show as much. But I think you get the idea. Now, last but not least, you have to decide for the buttonhole loop itself, okay? Do you want to continue with the white or do you want to use the green? I think I'm going to continue with the white because I really want the shamrock to be the only green on there, okay? So we're going to join the white. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that big enough? No, let's do 10. 9, 10. And then you're going to join it right over here. Now at this point in the pattern, it says to go ahead and do a row of single crochet all the way around. But with the trick that I did, it actually made it a really nice border already. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn my work and go back through and put another single crochet on all of these and just make it a nice and neat little braided looking loop, okay? All the way back in every one of the 10 stitches. Okay, here we go. And we're almost done. We are almost done. I like this shamrock better than my other one. Came out really good. Here we go. Couple more and then we're done. Now when you get down here, okay, I like to go back into the loop where I started it, and I kind of finagle by getting that tail back in here, and I pull it back through. That way you're securing it a little bit more, and you've got your double loop. So there we go. My dull scissors. Pull that through, and here we go. Nice and tight. Let's hide our tails because no project is done until we hide our tails. So on this one, I'm going to cheat and hide both of them at once. I'm going to go ahead, go right down the line here, and I'm going to hide both of them at once. So I'm going to tuck the shorter one in first, and then I'm going to tuck the longer one in. I can actually make them about the same size here. Tuck the second one in. Okay. Pull them both through. I don't like that, so we're going to fix that. You can see it's hidden right in there, so let's go this way with this one. I went a little too far down on that one. We're going to hide them in here. Again, both strings at once. You can do them single if you want. I'm just trying to save time by doing them both at the same time. Okay. So here we go. In there. Pull them through. Of course, that one's going to give me trouble, so I have to pull it through on its own. Sometimes the shortcuts just don't work. Sometimes they do. So you never quite know. All right, slide that through there. Pull that through. Here we go. What is that? Oh my goodness, another tail. I'll tell you one thing. Hiding tails is my least favorite of all the crocheting tasks. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. So a lot of people don't like washing windows. I love washing windows. I hate hiding tails. How's that? So we're going to hide this one in. Last tail. Here it goes. Come on. My fingers are fighting me today. Pull it through, and there we go. All right, now we are good to go. And here is our koozie. So let's see how it works. Lay that on its side. I want the shamrock to be facing that way, right? So we're going to take it. I made it a little tight so it would stretch nicely and fit nice and snug on the mug. And here we go. Here is my little coffee mug with my koozie on it. So I took the instructions that they gave me for this, and I added my own little creative touches. Sorry, I hit the camera. And there we go. So you can take any of the instructions that they give you and just try something new. Try to add something, try to tweak it a little bit, and be a little bit creative. There you go. I will see you for the next project. Be creative and have a great day.